FIVOC says there's no threat of a tsunami following the magnitude 6 earthquake that hit Masbate today. China denies aiming a military-grade laser at a Filipino vessel in the Ayungin Shoal. Military exercises between the Philippines and the United States will be bigger this year. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. FIVOC allays fears of a possible tsunami following the magnitude 6 earthquake in Masbate earlier today. In an interview with One Balita Pilipinas, FIVOC's officer in charge, Dr. Teresito Bacolcol, said that a tsunami is not possible as there was no, quote, vertical displacement on the seafloor. He also said that the tremor early Thursday was already the main shock.
Meron tayong mga lindol kahapon and isa dito yung magnitude 5.0. Mga bandang alas 5 ng hapon, to be exact, 5:15. The thing is, foreshocks are always hindsight. Malalaman na lang natin na foreshock pala yun if there is a bigger event after it. Aftershocks will probably take several days to several weeks.
Meanwhile, the Masbate Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office head, Dr. Adonis Dilao, reported that there are no casualties so far in Masbate and that power has been restored in the province. He also added that they are still waiting for the reports of local government units on the extent of the earthquake's damage.
Ang mga tao, alerto pa rin at hindi pa rin namin sila mahikayat na bumalik sa kanilang mga tahanan. Hinihintay po namin ang reports from the lower level LGUs para isubmit sa OCD. Pero may mga initial report na ginawa kahapon kamukha ng pagkandak namin ng inspection sa mga establishmento dito sa City of Masbate. So may mga establishmento na nakitaan na ng bitak.
And the MMDA, or Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, is set to open a center for disaster preparedness training. The MMDA said that the center will give courses to help responders prepare for, respond to, and recover from disasters. The agency admits that there are gaps in capacity building and training of rescuers, as seen in the response to last year's earthquake in Abra. The MMDA considers the creation of the training center as a preparatory measure for the big one. Moving on to other stories, China has categorically denied pointing a military-grade laser at a Filipino ship's crew members in the Ayungin Shoal. Beijing's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said that China did not direct lasers at a Philippine Coast Guard vessel on February 6, and that the lights were only used for navigation safety and speed measurement. Wang also reiterated that China has sovereignty over what they call the Run-I Reef. Prior to this statement, China has yet again downplayed the 2016 Hague ruling on the South China Sea, calling it illegal, null, and void. The Foreign Ministry spokesperson dismissed Manila's arbitration case as, quote, pure political drama orchestrated by the United States of America. For his part, retired Justice Antonio Carpio does not see anything wrong with President Bongbong Marcos summoning a representative of China on the Ayungin incident. Marcos Jr. had earlier summoned Chinese ambassador to the Philippines, Wang Xilian, to Malacanang over the laser-pointing incident in the disputed waters. The Chinese envoy said that the meeting focused on strengthening communications and managing maritime differences between the two nations. Carpio said that Marcos's action is warranted.
Normally, the foreign secretary will summon the ambassador, but if it is a grave matter, it can be the president himself, the chief of state, that will summon. And I think that was the correct thing to do because this is a grave matter. The use of a weapon against our Coast Guard vessel is a serious matter.
And former Former Defense Secretary Orly Mercado says that the Philippines should forge pacts with other countries. Mercado noted that the country only has one mutual defense treaty agreement, and that is with the United States. The ex-defense chief suggests agreements likewise be made with Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei, all of whom are in territorial conflict with Beijing.
Dapat nag-iisip tayo ng mga bago. If we have to move in pacts, we have to be very close with Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei. Ito sa mga bansang meron din problema sa mga Chinese. That doesn't mean we're declaring war on China or we are going to mobilize whatever we can. Ang problema natin, minsan pag pinag-usapan nyo, baka lalaban ba tayo? Tiyak naman talo tayo, wala tayong magagawa riyan. Ano ba yun? I-give up natin lahat ng ating maritime resources?
We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The biggest war games in recent history are happening in the second quarter of the year. Brian Castillo tells us more U.S. and Filipino troops will be participating.
The Philippines and its longtime ally United States will hold their biggest Balikatan exercise. Philippine Army Commanding General Romeo Bronner said the military drills won't be the same as in previous years.
This year, it is claimed that this will be a bigger exercise than the past year's Balikatan exercise with the involvement of more troops. And the exercises will involve a myriad of activities, not just focused on developing the war-fighting capability of both armies or both armed forces, but also of the other non-traditional roles such as humanitarian assistance and disaster response, HADR.
Last year's Balikatan exercises reached a record high of troops, 8,900 Filipino and American servicemen. This year, the number of participants has yet to be finalized.
All of these exercises that we are doing are in response to all types of threats that we may be facing in the future, both man-made and natural. Activities will be spread throughout the country, and a lot of this will be done in our traditional exercise areas such as Fort Magsaysay. We also have Tarlac, our camps in Tarlac, and we will also have humanitarian activities in the northern part of the country down to the south.
Balikatan 2023 will begin in April and will last until June. Other countries like Japan are participating as observers. Meantime, Bronner expressed his support for the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement between the Philippines and the United States. He also agrees with forging visiting forces agreements with other countries.
This is not the stand of the Philippine Army, but my personal stand. I believe this would be beneficial for our country if we allow more of our partners and our ally to come into the country to train with us, no? Not really to stay here and establish bases, but more so that we could train with them.
As tensions rise between the Philippines and China in the West Philippine Sea, the military reiterated that they are ready to defend their territory. This comes after AFP's call to China to restrain its forces following the laser-pointing incident in Ayungin Shoal on February 6.
Even before this call by the armed forces of the Philippines, we have been preparing already. We are now transitioning from internal security operations focus to territorial defense. There is a common theme among armies around the world. We have this common belief that eventually wars will be fought on land. So, we have to be prepared. And the Philippine Army can assure you that if any invaders would come near the land of the Philippines or inland, your Philippine Army is ready to defend our nation.
For News 5, Brian Castillo, we are One News.
And here is a quick look at today's other top stories. Undersecretaries for the Presidential Communications Office have been cut down from 7 to 5, owing to an executive order by President Bongbong Marcos to reorganize the office. Under Marcos Jr.'s EO number 16, there will be 14 assistant secretaries, with one directly reporting to PCO Secretary Cheloy Garafil. The Philippine Army has filed charges against Brigadier General Jesus Durante III and Colonel Michael Licyayo for conduct unbecoming of an officer and conduct prejudicial to good order and military discipline. This is in relation to the murder of businesswoman Yvonette Chua Plaza. Durante has been tagged as the mastermind behind the murder, with Licyayo as his deputy commander. President Marcos says the Philippines could be rice self-sufficient in 2 years if the government carries out a major reorganization across different agencies. Government has been implementing several strategies to increase production of the staple, like pushing for hybrid rice, water-saving techniques, and harvesting during the wet season. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News. All sides, all the time.